And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the man of the moment, the main event, Staring. Remember when I grew up with movies, the movie no Staring, that is the main guy. Like, if you see the name after Staring, that is what this gentleman is. A trailblazer, raised in the cattle post, made his way to the colonial city, traveled, studied at Botswana, Scotland, America, a well-traveled man. Tata. And may you continue to be a trailblazer and create these opportunities for Botswana, and not just Botswana, but Africans alike. As my mother used to say to me, without further ado, Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe.
Dumelang. You haven't even introduced yourselves to your neighbor, so turn to your neighbor and say, Dumela, and congratulations for coming. A firm handshake. Yeah. I take the view that we want, obviously, to get tenants for these warehouses. We want business to happen here. But for today, this is about networking. You know the famous saying, your net worth is your network. So how can your net worth grow without growing your network? So I want you to promise me, only the business card, at least 3 business cards and 3 contacts. So our network got on. Is that a deal? Yeah, is that a deal? Okay, all right. All protocol observed, but even though it is observed, there are people that I have to mention, without whom none of this would be possible, and whose presence really makes a difference. The first one, me Dikeledi Albertina Mogobe, my dear, precious wife. So it's a little more decade in Yabogana. 4th decade and counting, you know. We started it, we haven't ended it. Let's go again. Is that, yeah, but it's been exciting. And one of the things I tell my mentees, all of you know how I have a mentorship program. Please marry well, and due diligence before you sign on the dotted line. And I even go further, and Mama Mogobe will back me up. Get an ANC, anti-nuptial contract. Protect yourself, especially if you are an entrepreneur. So it's a message that I keep hammering on. Mama Mogobe, am I wrong? Yes. I'm going to talk to you, to recognize the presence of my good friend and family member, Moruti Tabanyane. Thank you for those precious words, and thank you for making the effort to come all the way from Mafikeng. Or is it Mabat? Which one is it? Mafikeng. You've gone back to the original and your brother. And of course, I want to recognize fellow property enthusiasts and very active individuals in the property field. Ramaja Maje. Nuggets of wisdom. I've interviewed him twice. That means data if you want it. That's 1.5 hours times 2, 3 hours of data guide. If you want to know about him and about his business, he's a very good friend. And thank you so much for coming. My personal friend and personal pastor, Lebo Mweti, thank you so much. And of course, Morox. Morox always makes it happen. Eh? He's also on the Nuggets. You see, guys, what we've created here is an archive. I've archived data on entrepreneurs, movers and shakers. I've given you a blueprint, or we have given you through creating what I call the best entrepreneurship podcast in this country. So, it's your choice. But the information and the data is there. All you have to do is to take advantage of it. And if I haven't mentioned anyone by name in Tshwareleng, and of course I want to recognize Vizo. Thank you, sir, for making it. And thank you for shining that bright light, Botswana, and waving that flag. Keep on doing what you're doing. And all the performers, I really appreciate what you've done. And don't take it kamahata. I may have missed your name. Wakanse Alfred, great tenant, great mentee, great mentor. Thank you so much, Kama. And, we've worked well together. Sometimes she invites me to some of her events, and I'm always happy to share and spread the message of entrepreneurship wherever and whenever I can. The theme of this opening, powering progress. And I want to go further and saying the giant awakens. Why do I say the giant awakens? I'm talking about the giant that I've spent a whole chapter writing about, Mogobe, my book called Nuggets of Grit. First point I want to make is that what you are looking at here, was once a bold dream, a vision that I captured in the book. Actually, I talk about it in the book, Nuggets of Grit, where I spoke of the gentle giant. Today, the dream stands before you in concrete and steel and glass and aluminium. The Mogobe Industrial Park is a product of the development arm of the Mogobe Gentle Giant. If you look at that gentle giant, it's got a head there, it's got an arm kaha written development and an arm kaha written acquisition. And then, of course, we have the belly of the beast. The gentleman who entertained you here, the COO, is the main guy on that belly of the beast where things happen. And I'm delighted to see that my there. And of course, we have key players there, like my son, who is the chief of technology, Otlaha Mogobe. Can you wave, sir? And then we have my other son, I don't know, maybe he's behind the scenes, who is the GM, the Pond Restaurant. Again, what that bottomless meat. He came up with that idea with the help of his deputy manager. We've been having this bottomless meat for only 2 weeks, so please take advantage of it. Laril Ratanama, come and prove it, go the pond. So it's a powerful structure representing our drive for enterprise, empowerment, and transformation. This is not just infrastructure, this is legacy. It is our expression of my love for my country and my community. It is not just built to house goods, it is to build to demonstrate greatness and possibility for this country. We used to do a terrible thing, debating society, and how when some point in a week but but it's not something that I'm thinking or even contemplate saying about you, but it would help from time to time. So this represents emotions beyond words. I stand here today humbled, overwhelmed, and deeply moved. The moment is drenched in the years of blood, sweat, grace, and grit. That's why the book is called Grit. I'm an entrepreneur. It's every opportunity to sell you the book. It's only $350. But this grit is represented here. Every setback we're able to overcome. Every late night we spent planning and working here, including last night. We're sweating. This man was giving a beautiful speech. We're sweating until 1 o'clock to make sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, so to speak, making sure that the place is ready. So this is a culmination. The gentle giant is no longer a metaphor, it is alive, it is rooted, it is reaching out. I want to emphasize that this thing was built on great grace and sacrifice. In 2020, they were not interested. Everybody was terrified. Nobody was thinking of building, let alone granting granting loans for building a colossus such as this. So it had to take a certain kind of mindset. Although things are bleak, to come and make it here and to continue building. So it's not just a cluster of buildings or compartments of buildings. It is the embodiment of resilience and bold belief, a product of sacrifice and long-term vision. Because during COVID, the one thing that everybody agreed on, we have to start feeding ourselves. We have to start coming with a plan. We have to start producing. We have to start becoming part of that value chain. Enough of this just being involved in giving raw material to the West or to other parties, and then seeing that raw material coming back to us at 100 times the value, and then we pay for that raw material. The time has come, and it's long past that time. And Ibrahim Traoré, I get energized about this Pan-Africanism, which is rooted in entrepreneurship. That is what the mission was behind all this. It is born, as I said, out of the development component of this gentle giant, and it is fueled by faith. So, the whole few I want to get so that I can clear my mind and come up with the next point. So let's play a game. If you want a really powerful speech, clap. Otherwise, you're going to have a very boring speech. So it stands today because we chose to dream big and to act bigger. We don't wait until the money is available. We are masters of the art of bootstrapping. Do you know the art of bootstrapping? Where, my dear CEO, this project needs about $1 million, but at the moment you have maybe 100,000, but you start anyway. You don't wait until the $1 million is available. That is the attitude that has helped us to get this far. So, this building is a magnet for economic power. So I'm calling on all the tenants. Those of you, already it's a Ramaja, those who are estate agents. This is your pitch to your potential tenant, this part. You say to them, Mona, potential tenant, this is more than real estate. This is a national engine for productivity. We have developed 4 large warehouses, each over 500 square meters, ideally suited for storage and logistics. By show of hands, Valenga, who knows somebody who's in storage and logistics? By show of hands, come on. Don't be shy. You know someone who's in storage and logistics? 3 people. So here's your chance to go and talk to that person, DM them now, send an SMS over there. We've got the best facilities in the city. Maybe it's time you start giving notice on that lease to move to bigger and better premises. I get it. Storage and logistics is number 1. Manufacturing. Often, we as entrepreneurs, we think manufacturing is complex. And how many times have I had entrepreneurs on the Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom? Intimidated. But I went on YouTube to learn the process of manufacturing. Some young lady there, I won't mention her name, talked about how she started a bottling company after watching on YouTube and going to China to find the machines and then starting on her own. Here's an opportunity for someone to be inspired. Hongwe, you've been vacillating. Hongwe, you've just been on the edge. Maybe the reason you are here is for us to push you over and say, take a chance. Maybe Mr. COO can make a deal with you. Yeah, well, we'll give you for the first 2-3 months, we'll give you lenient terms, while you get established, while you get licenses. We do listen to people when they talk to us like that. It's also can be ideal for retail and wholesale distribution. Before I get to manufacturing, who knows manufacturer here? Somebody by show of hands. Guys, please, talk to me. Read my line. Don't you know one manufacturer mo Botswana? Is it that bad? Tsuleta. Okay, the challenge is to talk to that manufacturer. Or there's something available. What about retail and wholesale distribution? Retail and wholesale distribution. This place is ideal. We created wide latitude for the college to come and offload here, to go this side, to pack your wares. Then you can partition nicely and have a part where it's a retail outlet. These days, you don't have to be in the center of town. All you need is to be on Facebook and to be on social media and to have your pin location everywhere. People will come. If your product is a worthy product, if it's a good product, people will come. Besides, every day we come here, there's a new warehouse springing out. This is exactly how it was with that place, Commerce Park. Commerce Park, you know that it mushroomed overnight, almost. It started with 1 or 2 warehouses. So in a space of 3-5 years, it will be beaming. The current development plans show that there's going to be a road here. I don't know what I read. Boko is going to carry on where Masisi was. But according to Masisi plans, a road was going to pass right here, which is what partly influenced us to choose this location. So if government sticks to those development plans, you'll be by the road as well. And you'll have the advantage of the first to commit. Light industrial use. This could mean anything. Light industrial use, the place is ideal for that. E-commerce. These days, we don't just say e-commerce, we say e-commerce fulfillment and packaging, which is what Amazon does. It's actually e-commerce fulfillment and packaging. This is what Take a Lot does. Who doesn't have a dream here? There might be 1 or 2 people who has a dream to get to that level. But you need to start with a warehouse. You need to start with a space like that. So e-commerce, e-commerce. Who knows somebody who's into e-commerce? Hey, that man knows a lot. That man with a hat. He's lifted his hand each and every time. Sure, you have a lot of people to contact. I get. And then what about government services? Rights or central medical stores. How many times do we hear our government is space? We are available to provide space for government storage and distribution center. So here's my point. Whether you are a public institution, tech assembler, retail chain, furniture manufacturer, the Gentle Giant is ready to serve your mission. Institutions can thrive here, Bakhaitsu. With robust infrastructure, strategic locations such as this, and high-spec design. You'll see as a traveler, the spec design, how it's ideal to facilitate whatever processes you have in mind. This is a platform for progress. The Hofiho. So I want to just take my hat off for builders. I've been very fortunate in that since I started our first warehouse, Go Pakalane, in 1999, 2000, there's not been one day, there's not been 1 week. No, there has not been 2 days that has passed since 1999, 2000 without a brick going on top of some mortar in our development efforts. We've been building non-stop. So I appreciate the power of building. When we built Mogobe Plaza, I literally quit my job as a lawyer and put on Makarampa myself and started mingling with the gentleman you met here. He also is the one who helped us put together Mogobe Plaza. So I want to take my hat off for the builders, the hands that brought this to life. To Mr. Abraham Chisoro and the Chilambos team, thank you for turning our vision into this magnificent reality. I often call these projects, talking to my sons and others that I'm trying to mentor and encourage, these are magnificent obsessions. Every 5 years or so, we want to come up with a colossus, something that has that wow factor, something that makes a difference in the horizon in terms of the landscape of this community. And this is one such thing that causes you to say, wow, these things are possible? Yes, they are. So you, Abraham, are part of the trusted contractor network within the Mogobe Gentle Giant. Your work is now etched into the skyline of Botswana. You guy. Abraham, wherever you are, take your flowers, my friend. Take your flowers. To my staff, you are the architects of execution. Mr. Lesole is leaving, but I wanted to mention him as well. Huh? Oh, okay. These are the architects of execution. Without you, Bridget is the one that says, I know Robert Amadi for something. I don't think that is possible, Mr. Mogobe. But I got quotation excited, wa executor. I don't think that is possible. So you need people like that, accountants. They call them bin counters for a reason. So, Bridget, wherever you are, congratulations for thrusting us into discipline in terms of managing how these things are done. And then, of course, the eccentric Mr. Mwesi, the COO, he's a marketeer par excellence. And he's the one that put this thing together. And you need that in business. You need to have that sort of character to speak to people, to have an impact on people. So I really, really appreciate your 2 years that you've been with us. We've had these incidents. And last week I was in Maung and he represented me, Koba Isaho. Hey, so kudos to you and your team, sir. The people at the Mo Pond, we have some of the most exceptional real estate agents in this country. Of course, I'm biased, but they deliver. They deliver. When someone works on a commission, there's no salary. We just cover disbursements. But for them to get bread, they have to execute. They have to sell a property. They have to rent out a property. And they're doing that not just with style, but with aplomb. With aplomb. You know? Not just with style. You look up that word, eh? Look at that word. It's a lot more than just style. So I appreciate people like that. And of course, Team Yaga, including Praveen, you know, in terms of getting our IT sorted out, you know. So these days we're so dependent on IT, and this speech would not exist if it wasn't for IT and ChatGPT, for instance. So we become so dependent in these guys, the technology guys. So you are architects of execution, and I appreciate you for your commitment, your discipline. Some of our employees, such as Siga and Ausp, have been with us for the longest. You know, can you imagine the level of commitment it takes for someone to still with us from the year 1995 up to now? They're still working with us. So, in terms of, you know, senior citizen in trying to introduce that balance and that discipline and guiding the young ones, they've done a remarkable job. And yes, and Nabaga, so I'm very slow to fire, you know. I really appreciate loyalty, but of course you have to be loyal and work hard. I'm very slow to fire. It was a monumental blunder that you did. So let me also talk to you about our strategic allies and partners. Apex Properties, unfortunately, Umesh Luna is not made it here. Lesedi Lebone Properties, Alfred. The supporting banks. What are we without banks? I prostitute banks. Yeah? But that's the only thing I prostitute. No, it's not the only thing. But what does that mean? It means that you want, when that day comes, when the bank turns against you for any reason, to have a fallback. Not only that, you also want them to compete for your business. You know? Apex, what's the other one? Huh? ABSA, Access. Yeah, many are ABSA, Access, but the ones we're currently with, FNB, Bank Gaborone, and BBS. Who else? I think I'm missing. Yeah, Stenbig. But they're very good banks, and they've been very, very helpful to us. But of course, for the young ones, you have to know what you're doing. And the one mistake that I keep telling my mentees about, just because you qualify for the loan doesn't mean you get it in the amount that the bank says you qualify for. You have to do your due diligence and be careful. The same with property. You don't just rush because bank or qualifier. Sometimes these banks, at least in the old days, come to you balibilebo December. December agera ko ya the commission it's abone the bonus. So they want to sell you a loan ka speed gore but le ba bona a fat bonus. So you have to be careful, and this is something we try to take every opportunity to remind our audiences about. Thank you, our strategic partners, for believing in us when the foundation had not even been dug. Of course, like I said, we bootstrapped this property, but we have every confidence, knowing what we know about real estate, is that once tenants move in, we'll be able to take in the same property and do what is known as equity release. Free advice, Bagetsu. Equity release is a thing of beauty. You can never go broke in property. You can never go wrong in property. I also want to thank my colleagues from Angel Network Botswana, an organization we started in 2020 to try and help young startups by injecting capital, much needed capital, into them. And I believe some of them might be watching us, since I didn't see any of them here, but we are live streaming this, so we appreciate that. So each and every one tentacle of this gentle giant is a living legacy, which we should applaud and appreciate. To the community, to the people of Onkoya Pir, ha ke tsora khosi na tla ba gaetso ke mo acknowledge ke tsora khosi le ma councilor ba la leditswe, but I have not had the good fortune of meeting them. But ha lo re ba teng ba gaetso ke a le recognize, ke a lo acknowledge, ibile ke a le rata. Yeah? You should love your politician, especially in your community. You should love your khosi ba gaetso. The people of Onkoya Pir, this is not just a commercial project, it is a commitment. We are here to uplift, to hire, to train, and to empower. The Gentle Giant is your partner, your neighbor, your shared legacy. Let's grow together. Let this just be a start. As you will be watching this ribbon cutting ceremony, I think there it's ready again. It marks the beginning. It marks the beginning of a greater friendship. This park is one of our many arms, our magnificent obsessions, but it's in the top 3 in terms of sheer size. It's one of our biggest magnificent obsessions. That's what I call them again. So we want to develop projects of substance, projects of vision, projects of scale, and we believe this is what it is. We intend to build more warehouses. Right now we're building multi-residential Kanye, and we're planning to build more multi-residential accommodation, extension 10 in terms of student housing. We've just acquired more student housing, 54 new tenants. We're now sitting at more than 450 tenants at the moment. So it is only an awakening. As I conclude, let me just say this. To God be the glory. We learn from Psalm 127 verse 1 that unless the Lord builds a house, the builders labor in vain. That bears repeating. What do you think? Unless the Lord builds the warehouse, the builders labor in vain. So I always try to take advantage of these opportunities ke bitsa baruti ba ditsala tsa ka gore to invoke the presence of the Holy Spirit. And I want to once again state that this industrial park is not just a monument of human effort, but a testimony of divine grace. To God be the glory now and always.